Om Shuklambaradharam Vishnum Shashivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasannavadanam Dhyayet Sarvabhignopashantaye Saraswati Namastubhyam Varade Kamarupini Vidyarambham Karishyami Siddhir-bhavatu me sada Yenakshara-samamnayam adhigamya-maheshwarat kritsnam vyakaranam proktam tasmai paninaye namaha vakyakaram vararuchim Bhashyakaram Patanjalim Paninim Sutrakarancha Pranatosmi Munitrayam Vagarthaviva Samprikto Vagarthaf Pratipattaye Jagataf Pitaro Vande Parvati Parameshwarao Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. So we'll chant this chart of supratyas. So you can repeat after me. Su ojas ot shas tabhyam bhis ngebhyam bhyas ngasi bhyam bhyas ngas os ni os sup. Okay. So let's see, and we'll chant our Maheshwara Sutra as well. We can chant together. Om A I Un Rilik E Ong I Ouch Haya Varata Larn Nyama Garnanam Jabhanya Ghadadash Jabagadash Kapha Chatata Chatatav Kapai Shashasar Hal Iti Maheshwarani Sutrani. Welcome everyone. It's nice to see you all. It feels like even 1 week has gone by. It feels like it's been I don't know, a long time. We're going to switch gears. We're going to be starting with a whole new part of the book today, which is consonant. So the Pratipadika ending with consonants. Halanta Pratipadikam. So this is topic 10, basically one of the last big sections of the book 1. So you can find this on page 125, page 125, and I'll pull it up here as well. Yeah, so you'll see it looks like this, topic 10. And this topic 10 is really, I think, a distinguishing point in this book, because I feel like this is where we get into more intermediate Sanskrit, right? Not that it gets harder from here, but if you made it this far, then you're past beginner stage. Now, we still want to have a beginner's mind, but I would say at this point we can say that we've entered intermediate Sanskrit. Now, what is beginner, what's intermediate? That's really arbitrary because we all really are beginners. There's an infinite amount to learn in Sanskrit, but yeah, I wanted to make that distinction there. So we're ending. So we just finished vowel ending pratipadika. We call ajanta, right? Ach, anta, ajanta, pratipadika. This is constant ending pratipadika. So we call that Halanta Pratipadikam. Hal is the Maheshwara Sutra for all the consonants. So now the first one, what we're going to see in the beginning is really, this is just, really it's Sanskrit math, okay? What I mean by Sanskrit math is what we're doing is we're just doing a simple addition. Okay, right? We have a noun. A noun is called a subandam, right? Meaning that it ends with sup pratyaya, right? So it ends with subanta, subanta, right? Ending anta, ending with sup pratyaya. So this part of the addition is sup pratyaya, and then we have before it we have pratipadika, right? So pratipadika plus sup pratyaya. Remember, we learned this in our first class when Raja Ramchandra was king a long time ago. But now this is where this becomes useful, because when we're declining consonant ending, it really is just addition. Right? It becomes a little nuanced as we go along, but you'll see what I mean by just addition. Along with this section, we're also going to be doing consonant sandhi. So notice how we haven't done sandhi in a little while, because consonant sandhi is really useful when we're learning consonant ending pratipadikas. Okay. Now you remember what we chanted in the beginning. It looks very similar to this. Supratyayas, I'm just going to read what it says. Supratyayas were originally taught by Panini with indicatory letters, what we call it letters in grammatical terminology. When being used, it letters are removed as seen in the next chart. So this is what we've been chanting, su ojas ot shas, right? Tabyambis. Generally, we chant with the it letters. Okay, generally we chant with the it letters. This is a traditional thing. And so we chant this whole chart so that we can start to remembering it. Right? Remember when Maheshwara Sutra sounded like Gadabada? But now you know it, or at least are familiar with it. Now this, we're going to chant so that we get more familiar with it. Now, if the question might be, if the it letters are removed, then why do we need to chant with the it letters? Because, sometimes what we'll see is Panini will give little shortcuts, right? So even the word soup, starting with su on the top left and ending with pa. So by saying soup, I count all 7 times 3, 21 of those. So I can make little shortcuts. I can say, right, I can say nit, nit. Nit is all of these with the nga. So Panini will use little shortcuts like this. They'll say all nit letters, and then you'll refer to those ones in specifically. So we still want to remember the it letters because they will be referred to. But when we're making nouns, we are going to eliminate them, right? I joke that You know, if this is the tradition, I don't want to be the first one to chant it without the So as I was saying, this is without the it letters. Sa, o, us. So you see the u is removed. O, and then just the jakara is removed, so it's just us. Ot, shas we saw, so shakara is removed, so it's us. Instead of ta, it's a, bhyam, bis. Nge, that nga is removed. So a, bhyam, byas. Instead of ngas, that nga is removed. So just us, bhyam, byas. Nas, os, am, that nga is removed. So it's us, os, am. And then ni, that nga is removed. So it's I, os, sup. And then the pakara is removed at the end. Okay. It's this is both in masculine and, oops, I don't want to do that. What I want to do is this. This chart right here is both in masculine and feminine. There's some little changes in this neuter. We'll see down here, where we have e, 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 e. And it's only the first two cases are different. The third case onwards is going to be the same as masculine and feminine. Thank God, right? Okay, so if you have this page open, right, this is near page 125, somewhere around there, you can maybe 126. Yeah, it should be on 126, the next page. So keep that open, right? We want to make sure your hand is in there even as we go forward, okay? This is just a reminder that there's no such thing as an eighth case. There's only 7 cases. There's no eighth case. You know, sometimes in almost, you know, a lot of Sanskrit books, you'll see eighth case. The reason why they use that is because when we have the suffixes of the first case, when they're used in Sambodhana is slightly different sometimes, right? When you're calling out to someone. And so to differentiate that, they make that an eighth case. But really, the suffixes of the first case, Prathama Vibhakti, alone are used in the Sambodhana. Okay, so Sambodhana is just a slight differentiation of first case. Right, that singular form of the Sambodhana may be different from the normal singular form of first case. So 1-1 and Sambodhana 1 might be slightly different. And so to address that, the extra row for Sambodhana is added in the declension charts, right? To avoid confusing with the original first case, abbreviations such as S1, Sambodhana 1, Sambodhana 2, and Sambodhana 3 are used in this book. Instead of saying 8-1, 8-2, 8-3, because technically there's no eighth case, right? We have to be aware of that. Sambodhana stands for the first case in Sambodhana. Okay, good. You can let me know in the chat if you have any questions, and I will stop. You can just put a question mark in the chat. Now, some things on the next page, you can skip page 127. We will come back to that eventually. And I want you to come to page 128. Because I want to get to the practical matters here. We'll come back to the rest of it because it's not as relevant now, will be relevant more later. So let's look at one simple prātipadika. Notice, right? This is going to be na ending. This is the first time we're seeing a consonant ending prātipadika. So na ending in Punlinga, and this 3 linga is going to be the same. Okay, no different in masculine and feminine. Okay, the word is sugan. Nakara. So your tongue should go up. Na. Sugan. The word means one who counts well. It's an accountant. I don't know if, yeah, one who counts well. And we always joke that the first word we learn is the accountant. Right? Tax season passed not too long ago. You need to remember the accountant before you do anything. The reason actually why we do it is because it's the simplest to decline among all the Pratipadikas. It's simpler than Rama because it requires the least number of modifications. Remember when I told you to keep your hand on the previous page? So make sure it's still there, right? So let's look at 1-1, right? Sugan. And now what I want to do is add 1-1 of my supratyaya. Remember what was the 1-1 of supratyaya? Just sakara, right? Su-o, just, so it's sa. So I'm going to sugan plus sa. Okay, so sugan plus sa. In 1-1, so this sakara of 1-1 is removed when it's after a consonant. So when the sakara is after a consonant, it's going to just be removed, elided. So comes and goes. It gives it blesses it and says, now you are Subanta, and then disappears. But it comes and then it's elided because of a specific rule, but it's because it's after a consonant. So the final 1-1 form is Sugan. Okay, remember we're just doing math. So now we have Sugan plus Su-o, o. So 1-2 is O. If you're wondering what I'm talking about, Su-o, just remember that's the pratyas on page 126. So Sugan plus O. What do you think it is? Just add it together. Sugano. Now we have Sugan plus us. Okay. Sugan plus us. You would think it's Suganas. What we see is this is the word hal. Okay, so just hal declines the same way as Sugan. So I'm just putting this up just to show you how this happens. Hal happens the same way as Sugan. So right, we have hal, halo, and then hal plus us, or Sugan plus us. The last sa at the end of a pada, at the end of the word, becomes a visarga. So this is the final form of 1-3 is Suganaha. Right? So let's chant that. So how do we do this first? Right? Sugan plus sa becomes Sugan. Sugan plus o becomes Sugano. Sugan plus us, that sakara becomes visarga, so Suganaha. Okay, so the first sakara just disappears. The 1-3 sakara becomes visarga because it's preceded by a vowel, not a consonant. Okay, now I want you to, again, look at page 126, look at those pratyaya. Look at it with me too, if you want to. Right now, Sugan plus Suganam. Sugan plus O, Sugano. Sugan plus us. What happens? Not sugana, suganaha. Because that sakara becomes visarga. Kya baat hai. You guys are doing so great. Look at this. Now, right? Sugan plus a, sugana. Remember 3-1 a. Okay, I'll keep that up because you like that, right? Sugan plus a, sugana. Sugan plus bhyam, sugan bhyam. Sugan bhyam, not sugana bhyam. Sugan bhyam. You just add it, right? Sugan plus bis. Again, we see a sakar at the end. So sugan bihi. Sakara becomes visarga when it's right preceded by a vowel. Okay, so first three cases again, and then I'll take questions. Suganaha, sugano, suganaha, suganam, sugano, suganaha, sugana, suganbhyam, suganbihi. Okay, and Harprasadji, you can unmute yourself. That's a question.
Yes, sir.
Namaste.
I'm looking in page 68.
Okay.
Supratyayaha.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The plural for the Pratama Vibhakti, he says just.
Yes.
You said us.
Mm-hmm.
Which one is correct?
Yeah. So this is the original chart that you see on that earlier page.
Yeah.
Just. Now that's correct. Okay, but they're both correct. Let me say that. And the reason is because this original chart is with it letters, indicatory letters.
With the indicatory letter. I don't understand how. I know what indicatory letters are, but how just became us?
So here the indicatory letter, right, is ja. So ja is removed. So the it letter is jakara. It's just ja.
No. Okay. Is all these are it letters? Su, au, just?
No, so not all of it, right? So if you look at the differences between the two charts, right? So su without the it letter is sa. So
okay.
That u goes away. U is the it letter.
Oh, okay. In au?
Oh, there is no it letter.
Okay.
Just becomes us, so that just ja is the it letter. Not ja, it's just without the just the ja goes away.
Ja goes away.
So then it's just us.
Now, how is just? Okay, which is the it letter in just?
So let me write it in English. This might be J-A-S, right? And this J is the it letter, jakara.
Okay.
So this ja goes away, and what we're left with is us.
Oh, okay. But how do you write it in Sanskrit? Just.
Us. Just. Remember, there's a hidden akara in between the ja and the sa.
Oh, so not the, so only the halanta ja.
Only the halanta ja goes away.
Oh, got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And the second question, so is all the, so the the sup pratyayaha, so is it not applicable to all the three lingas in the same way?
Yeah, it should be, right? The supratyas should be basically applied. But then what happens is they write exceptions for the rules.
Oh, okay.
And so there's some exceptions for the first and second case of neuter.
Okay, I see. I see. Okay. Dhanyavada.
And so similar thing with Urmilaji's question, how do you decide which is it letter? So Panini created this system, right? This wasn't there. And so he kind of decided which is the it letters. And he added them for specific purpose, right? And then there's a teaching tradition which continues which are the it letters. So it's not that we decided, but they were there. But you can see the it letters between the two charts. What's the letter missing, right? That's the it letter.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Yes. Okay, so we'll keep going with our sugan, right? We were on the fourth case. So sugan plus a. Sugane. Sugane. Sugan plus bhyam. I'm not tricking you, right? Sugan bhyam, that's it. Sugan plus bhyas. What happened to sakara? Yeah, it's going to become visarga. So sugan bhyaha. Sugan plus us. Suganaha, 5-1. Now notice how 5-1, 1-3, and 2-3 look the same. Yeah, that happens. So you have to know the context to know which case it is, and make sense of it that way. Oh, sorry, 6-1 as well. 6-1 as well is also suganaha. So, but 5-1, suganaha, sugan bhyam, then sugan bhyaha, 5-3, 6-1, suganaha, then sugan plus os. Sakara becomes visarga, visarjaniya. So sugaṇ-oho, sugaṇ-oho. Then sugan plus am, suganam. Right, so then they do give some, it really goes the same way for the rest of them. So sugan plus is going to be sugani. Is that easy? Sugani. I know this is hal, but we're just to pull this up. So sugani. Then sugan plus os. Sugaṇ-oho. And then sugan plus su. Now this says murdhanya becomes the sa becomes murdhanya because la is preceding, and we have to remember that rule that we saw. But we're doing sugan, so that's not applicable here. So sugan plus su is sugan su. Okay. He sugan, he sugaṇo, he suganaha, because it's going to be the same as the first case. Sometimes there's some differentiation with the sambodhana, but here it's going to be the same. So that's why this is the simplest, because this is our Sanskrit math. Just a little bit of addition. We just have to know what to add to. So now this is going to be our format, our bedrock. So we really want to get familiar with this chart, su of us. Okay, they're going to be, coming with us. as we go along. Now you're going to get a whole new set of words in Bhagavad Gita and Upanishad, which are consonant ending. And you're going to be able to, now you'll be able to recognize them and at least guess what's the case. That's an important skill to have, right? At least you should see the word and you can at least guess what the case is. So there's similar words, right? We can see yan, yan, hal, jhal. These aren't real words, right? These are Panini technical words. Yep, and they are given. Oh, I thought there was a place for it here. But remember, they're given using the Maheshwara Sutra, Pratyahara, the abbreviations. So when you see yan, remember yan sandhi. Hal is all consonants, jal, you see, you can look at the chart, right? Jhabakaradash. So you can, these decline the same way, even though they're not na ending. They're not na ending, not all of them, but because they were not artificially added, but essentially, yeah, they were this language, this technical language that was added after, they just are going to be added to the supratyaya, just like sugan is. So hal goes through the same steps. Just the difference you see in 7.3, that you get murdanya sandhi, and it becomes shakara, and so it becomes halushu. At-kupu is what we need to remember. At-kupu. What is preceding at, ku, or pu? So if you look at Maheshwara Sutra, a, I, un, rilik, e, ong, I, ouch, haya, varata, larna, yama, ganana. So haya, varata, lan. So so you can tell me in the chat, what is it? I'll pull it up here for you as well. And so I actually, I'm making a mistake. And that's why we're here. That's natva sandhi. That's correct. At-kupu has to go with natva sandhi. That's really funny. In-ko-ho, inku is where we get this murdanya sandhi. So if you look at here, share it. So if you look at in, so sorry about that. It's in or ku, right? So in, you see the first E at the first, and then the na on the third. So you see this la on the first, and you see the la nasalized. So but this first, this is the la that we're talking about, lan, okay? This is the la we're talking about. This is the vowel l on the first. So, and that's why, because we have in ku, we have the in, so therefore the in is there, and therefore it's going to be murdhanya. Okay. The in is preceding, the lakara is preceding, so therefore it's going to be murdhanya, so it's going to be hal shu. Okay. Now the homework is going to be exercise 35 in the last part of the book. So exercise 35 is page 183. Looks like this. So pretty simple sentences you'll see here. Right, things to remember. Prichati is to ask. Dadati to give. Gachati go. Asti is. Tishtati. We know these verbs, right? Stands. So then we're just going to decline the sentence and we're going to parse them apart, just like what we've done before. Okay. Om Tat Sat. Shri Krishna Namastu. Take a